everyone. Welcome back to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, encouraging you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BroxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BroxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, follow me on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So although COVID-19 is still looming around, people have found a sense of rejuvenation from being outdoors, and communing with nature is a great outlet to heal mind, body, and soul. Our next guest is part of an organization that provides in-depth conversations and workshops of transformative healing through nature. Joining us to discuss more about holistic healing modalities with Herban Cura, we welcome founder, clinical herbalist, Antonia Estela Perez. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for choosing this magnificent path of healing. I mean, you look very young, and so because of that, I'm really enthusiastic because this is quite a taking, and the fact that you're doing everything directly from nature, I'm very interested in learning about how you even found this organization.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm 27 years old. This organization is an extension of my family, essentially, and my grandmother, my great-grandmother, both on my mom's side and my dad's side, from Chile, who have always used herbs and plants for their medicine, and also seeing food as medicine. So since I was young, I've been playing around with plants, and I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Washington Heights, along the Hudson River, the Mahicantuck River. And so as part of connecting to plants was also part of me understanding my identity on this land as someone being first generation. So Herban Cura started as an extension of me wanting to share what I knew about plants and plant medicine to my community, especially within an urban context, because I think when we know and understand the medicinal properties of plants, it helps us be more autonomous with our own health and feel a greater sense of belonging to the land that we're co-inhabiting with.
That's a lovely, lovely way to describe everything that you're doing, because now more than ever, we are pretty much being reminded to really be one with nature and understand that we are coexisting, right? And so the fact that you're educating people in the process, and you happen to be standing there in front of products that you've developed with your own hands is really, really admirable for someone your age. So I wish we had all the time in the world to go over everything. However, I do want to just tap into some of the immediate products that are in your space that we can share with our viewers in and their healing modalities, right? And what medicinal purposes they're used for.
Absolutely. So everything that's here is our plants that are grown in my parents' garden or friends and families' gardens and farms. So they're different blends. This right here is a tincture, which is essentially a way of extracting the medicinal properties of plants into alcohol. So this is calendula here, and this is going to be for digestion, for lifting up people's moods. And then this one over here is an elixir. And an elixir is a combination of honey and alcohol. And it has roses, chamomile, lavender, echinacea. And this is both for immune system and heart opening. And in this jar is an oil of St. John's wort, which is an oil that's very helpful for body aches. And we can all use that in the city. And over here, these are double extraction of mushrooms, reishi and turkey tail. Again, also supportive for our immune system and fighting off infections and viruses and bacteria. So that's a big part of what we do. And we also offer knowledge shares to teach folks how to make this themselves. So before COVID, we were doing most of our knowledge shares in person, outside, along the river, community gardens, parks. But now we're doing all of our classes virtually. So some of those are actually coming up on Saturday. My mom's teaching a class on making preserves and jam and learning how to preserve the summer sweetness into the winter months.
So yes, especially now, right, as we brace ourselves for another like testing winter, we'll call it, right? And so these properties that you just shared with us, are they primarily for preventative or for healing?
Mm-hmm. So I would say more for preventative. With herbal medicine, it's not about taking 15 drops once and your problem is over and you're not experiencing any pain or discomfort anymore. But more so for immunity, let's say it's strengthening our immunity so that when we are in confrontation with some sort of bacteria or virus, our body has the capacity to put all of its mechanisms at work, right? But say you're bloated or you're full of gas and you take some fennel and cardamom and coriander, you will probably experience a very immediate sense of relief. So herbs can do both, but it also depends at what point in one's sickness they're at,
or ailment, right? So basically the idea is that you're arming yourself, right? It's like a sense of armor so that you're able to be prepared to defeat whatever it is that is trying to invade your body, because in essence that's what it is, right?
Exactly. So all of these plants are allies, and plants have been supportive to humans since the beginning of time. So we have very intimate relationship with these plants, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I really view plants as very important players in the resilience of people, especially people of color.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for saying that. It's so important that we share this. And I love the fact that you also gear a lot of your knowledge towards urban environment, right? Because we're talking about plants, and when you're living in an urban environment, you move at such a pace that you kind of overlook certain things that are right there in your path. And I love that you shared that a lot of your gatherings in the past have been at community gardens. And while I know you're in Pennsylvania right now on land, how are you communing with your community, right, to keep moving this forward so that there's this knowledge share continuously occurring?
Mm-hmm. So as I mentioned, we're doing it mostly online, and that's our main platform for sharing these knowledge shares, both online and through our email listserv.
What kind of generation are we looking at though? Like, is it intergenerational?
It's pretty intergenerational. So we'll get some folks from 16 to 60s, but definitely within like the 20s, 40s range, I would say is are the folks that are most present at our knowledge shares. But we've definitely had a range of folks attending.
So if you had to share any advice in this present moment and where we are right now amid a pandemic that they haven't been able to find a vaccine, and knowing that while we were able to flatten that curve, that there's this possibility that it may surge again come the flu season, what would you say?
I would say, again, food is medicine. My grandma was a big proponent of onions and garlic, and so many antiviral herbs are probably in your kitchen cabinets, like oregano and thyme and cinnamon and cloves, for example. And so even if we don't feel comfortable making a tea, incorporating different spices into our foods so that we are eating these herbs that help to fortify our bodies, but definitely getting enough rest. I think during this time, a lot of people have been spending more time on the computer or on their phones, but rest and sleep is so important for our well-being, and our health, and wearing a mask also. But I would say definitely doing as much preventative work as possible to prepare for the winter season.
That's it. It's all about preparation, right? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Now, where can people get your products?
Yes, so folks can look on our website, herbancura.org, and Herban is spelled HERBANCURA.
Beautiful.
Oh, I was just going to say there, folks can see the different oils, body butters, and tinctures that we offer, as well as the knowledge shares.
Well, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today, Antonia. Beautiful. Well done, Antonia. Estela, Perez. Once again, you guys, for more on Herban Cura and their products, you can visit herbancura.org. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear how the Bronx is honoring its indigenous history. Don't go anywhere.